Hello, everyone, and welcome to Body Bags. I'll be your reviewer for today. I am Sinema77, horror and cult film lover. And the movie we're going to talk about this week is from our good friends at the Asylum. It's called Death Foretold. And first off, right off the bat, I hate to break it to you, but I know right there it promises you're going to get some Tom Savini in the movie. It's like he does appear in the movie, but it's not till the very end of the movie, and you only get him for like a couple of minutes. But still, now this movie here, it's an anthology. Obviously, it's four tales, and this here it's directed by Bo Buckley and C. Michael Close. And I love horror anthologies. The Creep Show movies and Trick or Treat and so many others. I love TV shows like The Twilight Zone and The Veil and stuff like that. Tales from the Dark Side, Tales from the Crypt, things like that. So I'm always in the mood for a good horror anthology. And this one here, this is one of those movies like it's okay, but I felt like it could have been better. The four stories here. The first story is called The Dollhouse. Now, we have this couple, this newlywed couple and stuff, and they're moving into this, big house, and they're getting a really good price on it and everything. And the lady who owns the house, she's showing it around, and well, they're not buying it, but they're renting it. And so they're looking around the house, and wow, this place is really big, and I'm surprised the money you're asking for, you could get a lot more for this and everything else. And turns out the lady who's showing them the house, she got the house because it was willed to her by the people who actually owned it, but she doesn't want to live in it. She'd rather just rent it out. So she's showing them the house, and this house to them, it's like a dream come true. And it's really big and spacious and everything else, and they can't believe how lucky they got. Then when it comes to the attic, she's all like, no, you can't go into the attic now. um so they're asking, like, why can't we go into the attic and everything else, and she explains to them that, hey, here's the deal, like, when this house was willed to me and the original owner died, that it was stated in the will that the attic was to be locked and nobody was to go in there. That the owner had like a child, and that the child died, and that the attic was to be preserved because that was like the child's play bedroom, I think it was. And so that's kind of like the one condition. You got the rest of the house to move around in, everything else is fine. You just have to stay out of the attic. So they're like, well, okay, for the price, I was like, man, we can just skip the attic and stuff like that. So they move into this house, and they start realizing like some weird things are going on, like things are out of place, or they feel like they're being watched, or things like that. And the husband, he's a writer, he's trying to work on a novel. And it's kind of like, you got that kind of scene, where it's like, well, he's trying to work on his book, it's not going very well, so he decides he's going to take a break. His wife tells him, yeah, why don't you get out and walk around, let's try, get some fresh air, see if you can kind of get motivated, get energized, things like that. And he's like, yeah, you're right, I'll go ahead and I'll try that. So he gets out, and he's out walking around and stuff, and he decides he's gonna pop into a bar, grab a beer. So he goes into the bar, and he's sitting there, and he's there's a couple like creepy locals there, and they're asking him questions. Oh, you moved into that place, didn't you? And all that. And there's one, his name is Pete, and he's talking about like, you need to watch that pretty little wife of yours. He likes to watch the pretty ladies. And sorry. So he goes home, and he's, telling his wife, like, yeah, it's kind of some weird dudes and all this stuff. And they're just like, oh, well, whatever. They just kind of blow it off and stuff. So one day, the wife, she's in the shower, and um, she gets out of the shower, she's drying off. She sees a doll, this creepy looking doll sitting in the doorway, and she freaks out and everything else. And so the husband, he comes in, he sees the doll, and so he goes back and he finds this guy, and he's all like, what do you know about this house and what's going on here? And he's all like, don't leave that pretty wife of yours alone, I told you he likes to watch the ladies. And so he runs home, and he's decided, I've had enough of this, I'm going up to the attic. So he goes up to the attic, he sees the doll sitting in a chair, and he gets up, walks away, the chair with the doll starts to move, and then that's it. the first story's done. Now that was the thing about this. It's like, first of all, it's not an entirely original kind of story. We've seen story, we've experienced stories similar to this before, but one thing I thought was really, really off about this story was that there really was a lot of build up. They didn't set it up properly, and all of a sudden, it's the story ends, and then the next shot we see the lady who owns the house. She's putting a for rent sign out in front of the house. We don't know what happened to the couple. Did they move? Did they die? We don't know. It's just no longer a part of the movie anymore. And to me, that's what really hurts this movie. Is like they don't. There are quite a few plot holes. They don't really take the time to explain certain things. They didn't really like set up, the character, of the doll. Even though the story is called the Dollhouse, they just kind of say it off in passing that, well, yeah, the owner had a child and everything. So it's like, yeah, you're to assume that the spirit of the child is haunting the doll, but it just, I don't know. The story just kind of fell flat to me. Just it just really didn't explain it. It didn't set it up well. And then the fact that all of a sudden the people are gone. You don't know. Are they alive? Are they dead? You never know. So that kind of hurts the story. And then we get on to the second story, which is called Folklore. And then you have these three couples, and they're going for camping in the woods and stuff like that. And it really does have kind of like a slasher movie premise, kind of a setup and stuff. They're going there, and this story, I got to be honest, if you like bad acting, you're gonna love this story because the actors in this, they're just kind of really, you could tell they're kind of not really taking the material seriously, and they're just kind of playing it for yucks and stuff, and it shows. So they go out into the woods, and they're trying to set up camp and stuff, and you got these three couples, and it's hard to believe that they would actually be couples because all these characters seem like they hate each other. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's God's honest truth. They all come off like they just don't like each other, and they just they're bickering all the time, and everybody just kind of snapping at each other and everything else. It doesn't seem like anybody gets along and stuff. Well, on their way there to this campsite, they hit something, and they're not sure what it is. They think it's, one girl says, "Well, it's a wolf," and then they're not entirely sure what it is. So, and they're all like, "Well, it's dead anyway. What can we do?" And so you see like a Native American, Indian standing in the background, and just kind of watching them through the trees and stuff like that. And so they get in, they go, and they're at their campground and all this stuff, and they start kind of telling campfire stories, and they talk about shapeshifters and things like that, and then all of a sudden they hear like howling in the woods and stuff, and pretty much just they start being picked off. And the one girl, she manages to get into the car, and you know she's just kind of saying, she gets out the next morning, and then basically it's implied that what ended up happening is that there are Native Americans in the woods who shape into monsters or wolves, basically, and kill everybody one by one. She's the only one who pretty much gets away with it. So, and then that's it, pretty much. Like I said, another case of a story that kind of like, it wouldn't have hurt if they took just a little bit more time to kind of flesh it out a little bit more, kind of really expand on it, and kind of work with it. Also, work on some of the character development, and yeah, just the first two stories I kind of felt kind of left me kind of underwhelmed. I admit it. Then we move on to the third story, which I don't know. I think this one was kind of, in a way, this one was kind of the best one. It's called World's Most Haunted, and the story is about a crew of people. They're going to a haunted asylum, and there's, the whole idea is that they're going to rig it with cameras, they're going to set it up and everything else because they got this TV show called World's Most Haunted, and they're going to film an episode in there. So what they want to do is they want to get in there and they want to get everything all set up, get the cameras set up, get everything good and going, so that when the crew gets here, they can just go in there and do their show. There wouldn't be any problems. So you got this group of characters. They're going in there and they start, trying to get their setup put together and stuff like that. And they're like checking some of the rooms, and they're talking about like, okay, well, let's set cameras up here. Maybe we can rig this so, like, somebody comes in, they can be like, they could be scared or whatever. We rig an effect or something like that. So they're trying to get it all set up and stuff. And then, of course, it's one of those situations like, it turns out the place is really haunted and that there are real spirits. And, these crew members, they start getting picked off. And I will say that that story seemed like it was done a little bit better. It seemed like the setup was done a little bit better. And when you see the spirits, they really are kind of spooky and creepy. And you got one ghost who, she's got this really just disturbing look, and she's kind of like, I want my medication. I want my medication. It's actually done fairly well. So I would say that one probably is about the best story. And then, well, of course, when the TV crew, when they, or when the TV crew and the cast and everybody, they get there, they're shooting their intro. Of course, the setup crew, they're already dead. And so, they decide, well, it's time to go in, and we're going to go in, and you're going to be locked in this asylum, and then you got to see what you see and all this stuff. So, the host and the contestants, it's a family, a mother, father, two kids. They go in, and the door slams behind them, and everybody's like trying to get them out, and they're like, let us out. And then they turn around and they see the spirits coming for them and everything. And so, but yeah, I think that one was probably about the best story, in my opinion. Then we get to the last one called The Psychic, and this one has Margot Kidder. And this movie, or this story, it's got a couple little hitches, but this one's not particularly bad either. This one actually has some good stuff in it. You got Margot Kidder, who it's one of those kind of deals like, I mean, we all knew Margot Kidder from like back in this her work from back in the '70s and stuff. Amityville Horror, Superman, Sisters, and all these other great things she did, Black Christmas, and stuff like that. The thing about this story, it kind of reminds you why you liked Margot Kidder as an actress. And that's what's kind of great about this story is that she does play a good part in here. She plays a psychic, and she's doing a reading with this girl. The funny thing is the girl is listed as Alicia Goranson, but actually it's Leslie Goranson that everybody remembers. She's Becky from she was on the show Roseanne, which is now called The Connors. So it's Becky, so, and it's the same girl. You could tell it's her. And so she's doing a reading and stuff like that. And she's, like Leslie Goranson's character, she's worried that, her husband's cheating on her and stuff like that. She wants to be reassured that everything's okay. So, so she does this reading and stuff, and she's all like, okay, this is what's going on. And but the thing is like Margot Kidder's character, she's like she's kind of a scam artist. She's not really, she's doing this just so basically she wanted to just tell people what they want to hear, so they pay her a lot of money for it. And that's what she does with her character and stuff. Now we're introduced to a character who works in an auto garage, and he's slow-witted, and he's kind of the butt of everybody's jokes. Everybody tells him he's ugly and tells him he's a horrible person and all this other kind of stuff. And there's one female detective that he fantasizes about and everything else, and she's kind of creeped out by him and stuff. So he goes to Margot Kidder's character, and so he's all like, I just want to know if this girl has any interest in me and stuff like that. So Margot Kidder's, she's when she's not doing the readings, she just talks like, she always talks. But when she does read, she puts on this fake accent. So she puts on the fake accent and stuff, and she starts doing this reading. And ultimately, she does this reading, and it turns out, well, it looks like he's going to kill himself. And then she's like, no, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. Because, her thing is she just tries to rig the tarot card readings to just try to tell people whatever they want to hear. And so he freaks out and he leaves, and all this other kind of stuff. And so Margot Kidder, she's like, I don't understand. What happened there? What happened there? And then she sees on the late night news that, this guy, did kill himself. He jumped off of a building, and she realized that she did read the tarot card correctly. And so she's like trying to figure it out. She's trying to, like, oh my God, what's going on here? So, no, that's not how I do it. I rig the game and stuff like that. And then Leslie Gorans's character, she comes back in, and she's all like, I found out, I think he's cheating on me. I called this hotel, and a woman answered, and, I need to know, do another reading and stuff like that. So Margot Kidder's kind of, I don't know. I don't think we should do another reading. And so please, just do another reading. So, okay. So she does another reading and stuff. And this time when she does the reading, she finds out that basically Leslie Goranson's character is going to kill her husband and the mistress. She's like trying to, no, it's not right, it's not right. And so she tells Lacey Goranson's character, you have to leave, you got to go, and all this other kind of stuff. And so she leaves, and then Margot Kidder, she turns on the news, she's worried, and stuff. So, oh no, please don't let anything bad happen and stuff. And so she turns on the news, and everything seems like it's okay. And then all of a sudden, the news story pops up that, yeah, this woman, she caught her husband cheating, so she killed the husband and the mistress and everything else. And so she's looking at the TV, and turns out it's Leslie Goranson's character and all this stuff. And we realize she got mad with jealousy and stuff. And they just barely mentioned this serial killer. And so, Margot Kidder, all of a sudden she hears, she kind of hears like her door opening and closing and stuff like that. And so she goes looking around, and then, she runs into Tom Savini, and he just comes in. Yeah, I just want to have a reading just to find out. Me and my family's going on vacation. I just want to see if, we're in for a good time, if we're going to be safe and everything is going to be okay. So she's very reluctant and stuff. And then, Tom Savini pulls out a big wad of money. He's like, I'll pay you. And so she's like, okay. So she sits down and she does the reading and stuff. And then, through the cards, she reads that, there's something really wrong with Tom Savini's character. And then it's just revealed all of a sudden that Tom Savini is a serial killer. And as you can see on the back, he takes a knife and, spoiler alert, sorry, but he takes a knife and he slits Margot Kidder's throat. So, again, it was one of those ones. It was a good story, but I just felt like, they kind of really needed to do a little bit more work at setting up Tom Savini's character so that the payoff would work off a little bit better. Kind of like give a little bit more that this killer is out and everything else, kind of do a little bit more information on him. But actually, it was a pretty decent story. The idea behind, this scam fortune teller who's, doing tarot card readings, all of a sudden her readings become, creepily accurate and stuff like that. I thought that was really well done. But overall, it's kind of like any regular anthology. Some of the stories are going to be better than others, but this is very, very low budget, and you can tell by watching it. If that doesn't bother you, I would say, yeah, you can give it a shot, but I think you probably have the same reaction to it that I had. That like a lot of horror anthologies, just some stories are better than others, and but this one here, I really thought some of the stories really could have worked on, kind of setting up the story, setting up, kind of like the horror punchline and everything. But yeah, I'd say the third story is probably the best, and then the fourth story, the final story, was the second best. And I would probably have to say the first story was probably my least favorite. That one seemed like it really just didn't do a great job of setting the whole thing up, and it doesn't really give you any indication of what went on. So, but anyway, I would say, yeah, go ahead and, if you come across it, check it out for a decent price. But I'm just saying, though, right now, if you're sitting here thinking like Tom Savini is going to be a huge part of this movie, you're wrong. Unfortunately, he doesn't come in until the last story, like the last couple of minutes in. But anyway, that's going to do it. We talked about Death Foretold, and I really do appreciate. I apologize. I didn't realize the video was going to run so long. I thought I could get this in under 10 minutes, but anyway, that's going to wrap it up. If anybody took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it, and I appreciate you for doing it. I really do. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you like what you see, if you're new to Body Bags, please like us and subscribe. This is a weekly show. We have a different reviewer every day of the week. I'm the Saturday reviewer, and yeah, we got a great bunch of guys doing great reviews. So yeah, please check us out and enjoy the show. Anyway, this is going to wrap it up. I'm Sinema77, horror and cult film lover, and I'll be back next week. Until then, again, sorry that the video ran so long. Thank you for watching, and take care. Bye-bye.